Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's exactly 8 p.m. East Africa time. How are you doing? We're trying to set up this. We're trying to set up the live session that we are about to have tonight. And tonight, if you're joining us, this is the Alternative Voice, and here we are as the great team. I'm waiting to see you and also to engage with you tonight. I'm your host for tonight, Cleophas Watch, and if you're joining us from Nairobi, Kenya, this is the place to be. This is the exact place to be. So stay tuned as we bring this discussion home and as we try to engage on our platforms. Yes, and here we are. So we're trying to get the links shared, then we can kickstart this live session. So if you're joining us, thank you very much. So thank you very much for sparing your time and joining this live show tonight. And the main topic of discussion tonight is guide to career choice, a guide to career choice. How is this of great discussion? So our guest tonight is here with us, and you can see her all the way from South Africa. Hi, Jess.
Hello, Cleophas. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine from Nairobi, Kenya.
It's amazing how technology allows me to be in Kenya now as well.
Ah, great. It's seamless actually how we can link up from the other side to this end. It's just amazing. How is mom? We had mom here some weeks ago.
Yeah, she's in the room behind me. She's doing well.
Okay.
She really enjoyed being on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we shared a lot with her for the time that she was here, and we said why not get this young lady who is doing amazing thing, who disturbed the mom when she was still in school with difficult career choices to make.
Yes. I remember because when my mom came on, you spoke about the role of the parents in the career choice.
Yes.
And I thought it was an interesting topic, and now I guess we'll do it not from the parents' point of view, but the person who actually has to choose the career.
Yes. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us, we are here to take you through this discussion tonight as we talk about a guide to career choice. I'll be moving from that point of showing you, and tonight I'm producing this show alone. Thank you very much, Don Jaka, Esther Wanjiru, Haron Araka, Kevin Omolo, Lumumba, Felix, Great Hope Children's Home. Thank you very much for joining this discussion live on Facebook and YouTube. And there is our topic, Guide to Choosing a Career. Yes, so we are here to look at that point from a perspective of someone who is now choosing this. And before we get to this discussion, Jess, kindly bring us up to speed. Who is Jess? And where are you tuned from? You're in South Africa, you're in Joburg or Cape Town. So just bring us up to speed so that our viewers can also have a picture of who Jess is before we get to the discussion.
Okay, great. So my name is Jess Qvist, and I live in this town called Benoni, which is basically, we say Johannesburg. I live in Johannesburg, even though I don't technically live in Johannesburg. I just live a little bit away from Johannesburg, and it's very close to our airport called OR Tambo. So yes, that's where I live. As to who I am, I guess that's quite a difficult question to answer because I feel like humans change a lot. It's very difficult to just define yourself as I am this and that's who I am for the rest of my life. But I guess I'm a person.
It's true. And Jess, you are a life coach. How did you get to have that title? If we can just get a brief from it, because from the previous engagements that we've had, you had such an interesting path to your career. What you did in school and what you currently practice, there are two different things. If I can get it right, somewhere in last year, around September, October, or was it August, when you got your degree? Your degree, was it in economics or?
So I'll just give you like basically I'll tell you what my journey was, because like you said, it was a bit all over the show really. But when I was at high school, I felt like I was very good at a lot of different things. So I was very good at accounting and maths. So when I did an aptitude test, they said, oh, you must go be a CA. But I didn't really want to do that. And I remember like my family was like, oh, go be a CA. And I just didn't feel like I wanted to do that. Because I loved writing. So I was really good at creative writing. I really enjoyed history. And then I also was really good at business studies and like I said, accounting. So the only thing I wasn't really good at was science. So I guess at least we crossed something off the list, much to my mom's dismay, because she is a very scientifical person. So basically I was just like good at a lot of things, and it made choosing a degree very difficult and choosing a career path, because I was worried that if I chose one thing, I wouldn't be able to do other things. So anyway, I ended up going to the university we have here in Johannesburg, which is the University of the Witwatersrand, or we also call it WITS. So I went to WITS and I did a Bachelor of Commerce in Politics, Philosophy and Economics. And the reason why I chose that one, honestly, I went to the university and I was just going to do a general BCom or Bachelor of Commerce. And the lady said, oh, there's this thing called PPE and includes politics, philosophy, economics. And then I just said, okay, might as well. I don't honestly know what I'm going to do. So I just signed up for that. And then on my way home, I turned to my mom and said, what is economics? And I'd never really been interested in politics either. So it was a bit of a random thing. But I liked it because it included humanities and commerce. And that satisfied both things that I was interested in. And also just people. With the humanities, I've just always been interested in people. So anyway, I did all of that. And then I discovered that I really loved the education system. And then I did my honors year. So for us, I don't know how it works for you, but for us, our degrees are 3 years. And then we have an honors year, which is an extra year. So I decided to do honors in economic science. And then I did my research on the relationship between parental involvement and grade 9 mathematics marks in South Africa. And I mean, there's a whole like background story behind that, but I was tutoring in Alexandra Township and I felt like that topic was very relevant. So hence why I decided to study something like that. And then, or to research that. I like doing things. I'm kind of somebody who likes doing things with a point. So I'm not really somebody who's going to like study a random thing. I like using it for something. So then I did that. Then after I got my honors, I got cum laude, which I was pretty happy about because that's what I aimed to get. But then
you got a distinction.
Yes, I got a distinction, which I was super happy about. And I got a distinction for my research as well, which I was particularly happy about it because I loved it so much. And it's really satisfying when you do something that you genuinely love and then you get rewarded for it. So then after that, the next year, 2020, the year none of us will forget, I didn't really know what I wanted to do again. I was kind of just like, I don't know. And then I like took some time to do a lot of fictional writing because, as I said, that was something that I liked in the past, and I kind of just sat down on the side while I was busy studying. And then at the end of the year, again, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And my mom said, why don't you do a coaching course? So my mom, Colleen Qvist, she's been on the show.
Yeah.
She is a business and life coach. So I had kind of been in the world. And also in 2016, while I was studying, I had started a page called 44. And it was kind of just a sideline thing. On it, I was posting blogs and topics on personal development. So that was kind of on the side, but it's kind of on the side. It wasn't a business or anything like that. So I decided, it makes sense maybe to turn 44 into a career. And so that's why I did a course with the Andre Retief Coaching Institute. And then he taught me how to be a coach. And then since the end of last year, I've been a life coach. And yeah, but it's the thing is that, I mean, I was even speaking to my mom about it. Like, career choice isn't linear. And just because I'm a life coach now doesn't mean that I'm always going to be that. In fact, since I was so passionate about the education and research, I do want to get back into that. But yeah, that's kind of how I got here.
Yes, that's interesting. And if we can just get it right from the other end, you have such a rich history when it comes to doing whatever thing you love doing and exploring those things that you really want to do as a person. And so if we can just get it right, you had a choice to make the decision on which path you really want to be in. And it's unlike our country, Kenya, where you have a different how is it called? A different education system. For a degree course, you have to take 4 years. In your case, it's 3 years. Moving from the discussion that we had previously, where parents are so much at the center of the decision making when it comes to the career path that you really want to have, what's your advice to young boys and girls who will be tuning to this show tonight or years from now?
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure like career choice is something, as I said, it's not linear. So I don't just think 20-year-olds or teenagers are the ones who need to hear this. You could be 50 years old and then maybe not like your job. And I mean, I know my mom was in the medical sales industry for 22 years and then she decided to become a business coach. So I definitely think that career is something that we're probably always thinking about. But as to my advice, so I think that it's important to listen to yourself and realize that I don't have all the right answers for you because we're all so different. You have different experiences, you have a different situation. So I think it's important to do something that's right for you in your particular environment. But and look at what you value. Do you value money, example? Do you value passion? Do you value making a difference? So really look at those things, get to know yourself. But as to me, as you've kind of said, I really took passion into account. So I would like to do something that I really enjoy doing. So that's the one thing. So example, with writing, I really enjoy writing. With life coaching, I enjoy coaching. I like helping people. It's all those sorts of things. I chose a degree that included my skills and the things I enjoyed doing. That's why actually when I was in high school, I didn't really enjoy science and biology that much. So then I don't know if you have career choice, but for us, we have career choice. And then I decided not to do science and biology anymore. And it was because that wasn't my passion. So I thought it would be better for me to actually focus on something that I do really enjoy, because I feel like when you enjoy something, you're probably going to put more effort into it and you're going to show up and be passionate. Yeah. Like I know for me, I really love the education system. And I mean, people have said when I speak about the education system, I glow or I'm more excited about it. And so that's why for me, I think passion is very important.
And just before we come to the question from the viewer on the Facebook platform that we are on, when you say you should go for something that you really love and something that you are into, because for sure you'll have less efforts towards realizing whatever thing you are into. My question is, you might be willing to do something, but the cost of taking it is way beyond your reach. What's your thoughts on this? Should you weigh the two? Which one should come first?
Well, I think again that's something that you have to decide in your own life. Like I said, that wasn't necessarily my situation, so my choices would probably be very different to somebody else's choices. But I do think that there are lots of opportunities out there And it takes looking for those opportunities. It's like if you're going to say, oh, okay, I can't afford to go there, so that's it, that my life is sealed, that's my fate. Well, then that is going to be your fate because you're just sitting there. But if you go out and look and see, oh, maybe there's a scholarship, or maybe somebody would be willing to sponsor me, but you're not going to find those opportunities if you're just going to sit back. And that's where I think networking is very important. If you can, try speak to people and try meet people in those fields. With everything, I think there's always going to be setbacks or things that doesn't just make it straightforward A to B or A to B. But I think it requires, if you really want to be in a field, say you really want to be a dentist and there's no dentist place in your town and you can't afford university, I would say, like, go out and speak to people and try to see how you could make that happen. Because maybe there's no dentist practice where you are now, but maybe you're the person who has to bring it about. So I definitely say, like, try network. And it's basically, if you want something enough and you make that your desire and you make it that way, even if it doesn't seem like it's possible and all your family members says, no, this is impossible, it is possible if you try to look for opportunities and a way of making that happen for you. But then maybe if you don't want to put that effort in, which is also perfectly fine, maybe it doesn't mean that much to you, then you could go do something else. Look at what else you're interested in. Look to see if there's another way of doing it. Maybe you don't have to be a dentist. Maybe you could research dentists or be something else. Be an artist who paints dentists. So there's lots of different ways of doing it.
So Jess, that's our returning subscriber. That's Great Hope Children's Home here in Nairobi. Jesse,
thank you. Jesse, you look
Thank you very much for that explainer. And that takes to the question by Hayeka Cedric. That's one of our members of the Alternative Voice here, and he's saying, should one pick a career depending on passion or consider the availability of chances in that field and the cash? I think the bit of the cash and the career availability you've tackled. The other part, if you have an answer on it.
So should one pick a career depending on passion? So yeah, so I still think that's very important. Or consider the availability of chances in that field. So, but by that, do you mean like the marks example, so getting in, or like the availability as to how many people can get in? So we'll speak about in terms of space available, because sometimes, example, they say only 50 people are allowed to get into dentistry, and then if you're 51, you're not going to get in, or if your marks aren't good enough. I think, again, it comes down to how much do you want it. So if you don't get into medical school immediately, are you going to try and look for other opportunities or other ways in which you could get into that? Ask people, network, phone up the university or the college or whoever and say, hey, this is my dream. How do I go about doing this? So example...
If we can get it right, when you talk about networking, it's something that people really do, and maybe they do it subconsciously because they don't know what exactly it is. When it comes to networking in the field that you really want to get into, if it's a career, what's your definition of networking, and how should this network be measured to be something you can say it's net worth? Because when you say you have that big network, that large network, and it's not translating to any connection to lead you to the next career path, that might be an undoing on your end. What's your definition of networking when it comes to this career guide?
Okay, so networking basically means speaking to people. So it's getting to know people. So when you have a big network, it means that you're connected to a lot of people. But as you say, should we look at the quality of the network or the quantity of the network? Because sometimes people say, oh, I have 1,500 people on LinkedIn. I'm so popular, I have a very big network. But then when we start testing you as to who do you actually have on your network, it's like, you suddenly don't know anybody. So I think that's the important thing of, so like for me, I think a good way to network is, example, LinkedIn. And that's a good way. If you have internet, you can network with people who are in your field, and you can search, oh, I'm looking for a dentist who lives in Kenya. And then you type dentist Kenya and you see, oh, cool, I can speak to this person and reach out to them.
Yes.
And then I think it's, as I say, it's like it's the quality which is important. Don't just add someone and I suddenly think, oh, they're going to help me. It's about you being interested in their posts, you reaching out to them, ask how they're doing, get to know them as a real person. Because if I, example, I know Qvist more than I probably know somebody who's just commenting on here. So if I were to speak to Qvist and say, oh, what opportunities are you looking for? Because I know you, as I go about my day, I'm going to be thinking about you, and I'll be like, oh, yes, you want to be an actor, for example, here's a great opportunity for you. But if I don't know who you are, I don't know all my LinkedIn contacts. You're just the name on my screen. If I don't know you, I just have a name. Well, then I'm not gonna recommend you for that.
There are some people. There are some who are actually tuned, and there is one here called James Junior Ayugi. Junior James Ayugi. That was my classmate back in high school, and we shared a classroom from Form 1 to Form 4, and now he's tuned from Jamaica.
That's so cool.
Junior James Ayugi is a comedian, and he's doing his stuff. I know having such a person from your explainer is that you have that link, that constant reminder to the person you are linked with, will give them an opportunity to think frequently about whatever thing that you do and that field that you are good in. We take this moment to give shout outs to those people who are joining us live on Facebook and YouTube. If you're joining us on Facebook, remember to follow the page, The Alternative Voice. And if it's YouTube, remember to subscribe. And we have quite a number of viewers online. And I've seen
hello, everyone.
Mom is here. We have Alex on Saturday.
Hello, Mom.
Yes, and she has her question maybe. Hello, lovely people. My niece wanted to be a vet, but doesn't have the marks. Her passion is working with animals, and so she now works at a crocodile farm. Wow. Different ways to still deliver on her passion. She will then go to a wildlife sanctuary. I think
that's a really good example, because she couldn't get into veterinary school, so she didn't say, oh, well, no animals for me, I'm just going to go be an accountant. She looked for opportunities, said, oh, here's a crocodile farm, well, I'm going to work here and try get experience. And now she's the one who's actually working with the animals, and all the people are sitting in, like, the people who are studying veterinary stuff are probably just sitting in a room studying out of a textbook. They may not actually be working with animals, but she is literally living her passion. And that's where networking comes in, because she needs to get to know all the people at the crocodile farm. She needs to look for other different things so that maybe she can get in an informal way.
Yeah. And she goes ahead to say, networking is about connection, not collecting a telephone directory of names. And this brings me to this sad reality that we live in currently. If I can ask you, Jess, how many people do you have in your contact list for phone?
I think I have about 550.
550?
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, I wanted to get the little thing that says this person has 500 connections. But I mean, to be honest, I did realize in myself that I didn't know my connections on LinkedIn. So I decided the one week to speak to 100 people on my LinkedIn and send them actual personal messages saying, hey, can we have a video call so I can get to know you more? And not everyone replied, but some people did reply. And that was really great, because I met really cool people who I wouldn't have met otherwise. So I spoke to somebody who lives in the Netherlands, and then I actually connected him with somebody I knew in my network. So I think like if I hadn't spoken to him, I couldn't have connected him to somebody that I did know.
Thanks, Jess, for that addition from what Colleen asked, and we move swiftly to other questions that are coming up. We have Elias Muhatia tuned in, and he's following, and we also have other Winnie. We have Winnie kasweetie.
Hello, Winnie.
I'll read this in Swahili. Ukiwa na job, ilibidi tufanye chenye tumeitiwa. What she means in this, we have a selecting body in our country whereby after your Form 4 examination, that's the Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Examination, KCSE, there is a body that is in charge with placement, university placement under colleges. So depending on the marks that you get and depending on what you selected during your first selection and the second revision, that's what you'll go and do in that university. It's not a must that you go do that which you're really passionate about, but what you've been placed to do, that's what you go. And so that takes me to this point that I really need your opinion. If you are good at something, then you've been placed, like in our country. Post-education, you are a teacher, and that's not what you really want. And you really have this degree with you. What's the next step for you to live a happy life where you spend less effort, you spend less energy in, after pursuing a course that you are placed? It's not something that you really wanted to do, but you persevered for 4 years and you're done with it.
Okay, so I would say in that situation, so you come out and say, like let's use the teacher example. You get placed into teaching because you have the skills of a teacher, and then you just don't like it. So what are you supposed to do at the end of it? Well, I guess the one thing you could do is just come to terms with the fact that this is your reality. Sometimes I think the best way of getting past a certain hurdle is to come to terms with it. So say, okay, well, I'm a teacher for a reason, so let's make the most out of this. And see, what can I do as a teacher? What difference can I make? How can I actually make this something that I enjoy? Maybe you're telling yourself, I don't like teaching, this is a waste of time, I'd rather be doing something else. But actually sit there and say, why am I grateful for being a teacher? What can I do with this degree? You're here, the universe or God put you here for a reason. Now, why are you here? And write up a list. And I think maybe when you force yourself to see the good in things, you can realize, oh, actually, it's not that bad. But then, I mean, I don't know how it works in Kenya, but can you go back and do another degree?
Yes, it's possible. It's possible you can go back and do another degree, but now that comes also with another cost. So we are really trying to look for options where you can go into acquiring other skills without spending so much on it. For your case in South Africa, I don't know if you have other institutions that offer short-term courses that can enable this individual bridge the skills and experience that they need.
I'm pretty sure we do have colleges like that. I don't know any specifics, but I mean, your example reminded me that there's a lot of free courses on the internet, and there's also things like YouTube. So you could actually go on YouTube and on the internet and teach yourself a skill. You don't necessarily have to go to an institution in order to learn it. The thing with the institution is it's giving you the certificate. And I guess jobs are asking, where's your certificate? But if you're actually looking for a skill, there's nothing that's stopping you from learning that skill. And again, that can link to networking and meeting someone in that skill and maybe saying, hey, can I please try learn more about this? Please point me to resources. But again, I think it all just depends on how much do you actually want to have a different career, because depending on how much you want that is going to determine the lengths in which you're going to do in order to make that happen. If you just say, oh, well, there's no opportunities, so I'm just stuck as a teacher, well, guess what? You're not stuck as a teacher because you're not looking for other things that you can do. So yeah, and then in terms of the money thing, I mean, that is definitely an issue. But I know like some people would try save up, for example, and try do certain things in order to make that a reality.
Wow, thanks. And we have other viewers who are joining us live on Facebook and YouTube. Meshak Washuri, thank you very much, Shak, for being part of this discussion. And we have other viewers who are live on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, we have Barbara. Yes, Barbara Obwaso. Interesting topic. Viewing from
Lille. Well, it's really cool that there's people from all around the world here.
Yeah, we have those watching from France. Thank you very much, Barbara. And we have a question, I think, or a comment from Daniel Jaka. I'm loving the show. I want to clear my doubts. What are the challenges involved in career choices, as well as how to deal with career crisis? For instance, my passion was army. Yes, Kenyan army. Yeah, I wanted to be one. But I feared the training. Now I want to be a teacher, as well as a comedian. And from the statement, you can see where the comedy is coming from a police officer or an army to a teacher. Yes. If you can tackle that as we proceed, how can you deal with the career crisis and the challenges involved in career choices? Yes.
Well, it's interesting, and I think it's really cool that you have a lot of interests. So your passion was the army. Is that something that's still your passion? And now you want to be a teacher as well as a comedian. I think it's really cool because there's lots of different things. And I think in today's age, you don't just have to have one job. You don't just have to be a teacher and that's it. I mean, with Clear Fast example, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of different things going on. Can you bring that thing back up? I don't know if you can, because I'm going to forget the question. Okay, cool.
We have so many things.
So to speak about the first one, like your passion was the army, but you feared the training. So I'd ask you to think more about that, and because sometimes we can have a passion in something and then the fear holds us back from actually living out that passion. So example for me, I'll give you an example. I really like education and I would like to get back into education research, but I do have fear about it because, example, I sometimes fear that my marks aren't good enough or I'm not going to meet people's expectations. So honestly, for the last year, I've suppressed that part of me. I've been like, oh, I don't actually want that. I just want to be a life coach. And I've been like, I don't want that. The life coach is fine. And then a week ago, I suddenly decided, okay, actually, I do want to go do that thing I'm scared of doing. I do want to get back into education research. And ultimately, I'm not going to be completely content and fulfilled if I'm not living out that part of my life. So I'd ask you to sit down and think, what do you like about the army? Is that still your passion? And your brain might be like, oh no, it's not the passion because it's scared of the fear. And then ultimately it's about the best things require fear, overcoming fear. If it's easy and there's no fear, it's probably not the right path for you, but it's when you break through that fear and decide, what is it that's scaring me? Is this actually my destiny? Is it worth me going through this? How am I going to be a better person once I've got through that fear? I think look at that and then see, okay, maybe you do actually need to go to the army. And then also look at like, do you really want to be a teacher or a comedian, or is this just like denying what you really want to do? But even so, maybe you can combine all of these things. So example, maybe you could be a teacher who is a comedian and makes all the students laugh. So your students aren't going to be falling asleep at their desks. They're going to be like, oh, great.
You really maximize on that. You maximize on the opportunity you get to be a comedian as a teacher, to pass the message and the content of the syllabus.
Yes, exactly. So you don't just have to be one thing. You can combine all of these things. You could, for example, become an army instructor who teaches all the people and then makes them laugh and encourages them to enjoy the day or to bring in some happiness and some humor. So definitely look at ways in which you could combine all of those different things. Look to see if you can do all of them together. Yeah, and then definitely look at what you are suppressing and realize that it's like once you overcome fear, maybe that's going to grow you the most. That's going to be the most fulfilling. Because if you're just taking the little easy way out, it's honestly not that fulfilling, because your subconscious is still like, well, I want to be in the army. I should really be doing this. And why am I not living up to my potential?
I think that's well answered. Thanks, Jess. And if you're joining us and wondering who is this guest tonight is one Jess Qvist, and she's from South Africa, and that's where she lives. And she's here to share with us her journey and all that she knows when it comes to career choices, as well as the role that we play as those people who are really into this career choice and those who are still advancing in their career choices. Jess, you are a creator at the 44 page, and we'll come towards the end of the show to talk more about it and what you do and how you've inspired a great number of people from South Africa and across the world, those whom you've interacted with, either virtually or physically, so that you can pass this knowledge to them. We have this comment from Colleen, and don't feel you need to only be one profession, and you need to be that profession until you're very old. You can be lots of things, and that's insightful, because we have those people who are currently journalists in the country and they are entrepreneurs. We have those people who are teachers and they're farmers. So thanks very much, Colleen, for the additional insight. We have others joining us. We have Meshach, listening though network. I know you are in the rural area, and it might be a challenge. Yes. So thank you very much for sparing your time to be part of this great discussion. And we have Patricia Combo joining us live on Facebook, and Colleen again is here. You can contribute to society without having a degree. We have become fixated. We've become fixated on degrees, and that's true in our country currently. If you don't have this degree, if you don't have an undergraduate certificate, some people have tagged you as someone who is a Form 4 leaver, and therefore you don't have a say in the society. And so, you have anything to add on this, Jess? When it comes to,
I completely agree that we are fixated on degrees, and I also think it's like people can get and it's difficult, because if you live in a system that values degrees and gives people jobs based on degrees, it's very difficult to get out of it. But I think it is important to realize that we are ultimately the ones who create change. So if we want a society that doesn't obsess about degrees, we focus more on value and actual skill, then you kind of have to be that person who breaks away from the mold. Yeah.
I think
I was going to say something else, but then when you completely just forget. What did you say just now?
No, it was a question of whether our societies should move from the point of being fixated on degrees and focus on other things. But now this is the worry. We have those departments, state departments in our country, and even other NGOs that really don't consider degrees, and they go for lower levels of qualifications, that certificate and diploma. I don't know however much we want to concentrate on the topic tonight. That's a guide on career choice, and that's where we headed to. And we would like to know, is getting a degree even in your country a mistake? Because those who are highly qualified on education, they don't get that chance.
Well, I mean, I feel like ultimately degrees might have some value in that they teach you more skills. And I know for me, example, my honors degree I felt was more valuable than my undergrad because I actually did research and I felt like I was contributing and adding. So as an undergrad, I couldn't really do that. But yeah, I think like the thing is that I feel like if you don't have a degree and you can't afford a degree, I don't think it means that now your life is set in stone and you can't ever be successful. Because actually there's lots of people out there who are successful and very great entrepreneurs and they don't have a degree. So actually what I was going to say is this society may be saying like, you're not good enough, you don't have a degree, blah, 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 blah. But what are you telling yourself? Because maybe you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough because I don't have a degree. And therefore, your thoughts are going to determine your emotions, and then your emotions are going to determine your actions. So I'm not good enough, I can't get a degree, therefore I just have to stay in this job over here. That's my life sealed, I'm not going to go out there and network. But if you decide, okay, the society thinks that, but that's all great and cool, I know that I can succeed without a degree. I can succeed in whatever I want to do. You're the only one who has to believe in yourself because ultimately you're the one who has to take the action. And then go out there and say network, go see what you can do, immerse yourself in the field, try do a bunch of things. And then I'm sure ultimately you're going to meet the right people and you're going to get opportunities which you wouldn't have found if you were just sitting at home.
And I think that's the missing link in our society. And so it's a wake-up call to everyone who is outside there looking down upon those people who have their other qualifications other than the degrees, those people having their certificate qualifications, those who are having their diplomas, and those people are just out there trying to ensure that they get some qualifications with them. And so don't ever or over exalt those people who have the degrees, grant the opportunity based on merit, and offer that equal opportunity as an employer that you preach on your websites when people are applying for their jobs. We have Barbara Obwaso, and she's saying, I'm a teacher by profession. Earlier, I used to love it, but after years of unemployment in the same field, my interest started fading. Now I'm exploring other paths to work through. And that's an example of what we've been talking about. Yes,
yeah,
Jess.
I think it's so cool that you are looking for other paths, Barbara, because a lot of people just say, I've made this decision, and exactly, Colleen says, good for you, Barbara. People think, I've made this decision now, therefore I'm stuck with this decision, and you're not getting anything out of it. But like, that's how life works. You don't, like, things get boring eventually, and it's so great to explore and see, oh, I don't actually have to be a teacher for the rest of my life. I can go do something else. I was actually reading a book today. I don't know if you've heard of this page called Humans of New York, but I was reading this book, Humans of New York Stories, and the one woman was saying that she wrote, I think, 24 cookbooks, and then one day she just decided, okay, now I'm going to be an artist, and she never cooked again. So I think that's great. She didn't say, oh, I did 24, so now I have to do 25, so I have to do 26. This is so boring. My quality of life's gone down. She said, okay, great. That was this part of my life. Now let's move on and look for other things and different things I can do. I see two that says hi.
Hi, receive greetings. Pass greetings to Mommy. I know she's listening. And yes, she's here. She's here and following the discussion live on Facebook. And you can see her comment. She's forever here with us. Thanks so much, Colleen, for bringing us amazing guests tonight. I know it's through Colleen that we got to know about Jess and what she's really into. Look at skills, not professional titles. And I think that's another missing point in our education systems. We go for titles and people fail to get to learn the main things. I can give you, for example, those people are aspiring to be in journalism, in media. It can be in Kenya, or the same case in South Africa or any other part of the world, from France, where Barbara is tuned from. And it's true, with all these papers and without the experience, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere with the papers that you have, the qualifications, without the actual skills. So not professional titles, but go for the skills that you really need to survive within any industry that you are really into. And so,
but I think I just want to add that also links with, so I'm reading this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And one of the chapters speaks about specialized knowledge. And it's funny because even in the 1930s, people were doing this. People want specialized knowledge and they want all this knowledge about stuff, but then they don't know how to actually apply that knowledge. And the question is, how valuable is knowledge if you're not able to do something with it? So if I know how to do something, but in my head, I know the textbook, but if I've never actually done it, then like, so what? I've got this information in my head, and what am I going to do with it? So I think that's like with degrees, it's like, oh yay, you know so much information, you this little knowledge thing, not a little knowledge person, but then when it's like, off you go and do the task, then, oh, I don't know how to do it. But you've got a degree, you've got this knowledge.
Now it's upon you to pass that knowledge to those people really need it and acquire the necessary skills. Jess, you can read the comment down there before we move to the next.
It says, buy a donkey, Jess. That's Afrikaans. It's a pleasure. Just a proceed.
What's the response? How can you respond to that?
So I'd say dis a plezier. That means it's a pleasure.
Okay, great. At least we are learning on the go. Jennings Ochieng, tuned from Nairobi with it's tuned from Kisumu, Europe. Yes, is in Europe.
Jennings.
Yes, so Jennings, thank you very much. You have a whole page. Comment. Can you see me? Okay, we have to move closer now to the camera towards the top so that our eyes at least can be seen as we go through this question. Okay, I really love this topic of today, since this has touched my life story. Back then, I had dreams of becoming media personality, but after my Form 4, being brought up in a family where my brother and sister are doing medical courses, I was forced by my parents to pursue analytical chemistry. Yes, I did the course and I'm done with it. Surprisingly, I'm currently employed as a radio presenter. So, as far as career choice is concerned, I think it should be basically based on someone's interest. And I can tell you for fact, Jess, Jennings here was my classmate when I was in class 6. That's in primary school. And a brilliant mind went ahead and pursued analytical chemistry, but not something that he really wanted. And thanks, Jennings, for sharing that life story. I know one day I'll host you and you'll tell us more about this. And Jennings currently, congrats, by the way, he started hosting the radio program that he is employed at in Kisumu. That's one of the cities in Kenya, and he's doing an amazing job every day from 2 to 5. So thanks, Jennings, for being part of this great discussion. So
that's really cool, and I feel like it gives people hope that if their parents have forced them to do something, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think, again, it also just points to the fact that you don't have to make the thing you're skilled at your career. Because for me, I did really well in accounting, but I didn't want to be a CA. So I decided not to be a CA. And now I'm happier for it. So it's ultimately like what you want to do. You don't have to listen to what other people think or what other people, their versions of what needs to happen.
Jess, should there be a conversation before making such choices? Because decision making is not only on one person. Should it be entirely on an individual, or it should come up as a team in the family?
Well, for me, I spoke to my parents about it, and I also went to the person who did the aptitude test. And I also spoke to a lot of people in different fields. For us, we have to do job shadowing. So basically, job shadowing is you say, example, I want to be a dentist, even though I definitely don't want to be a dentist. But say I want to be a dentist, I'd phone up the local dentist and say, hello, please can I come stay there for a few days and see what you do, just so that I can see that I actually want to do this. Because sometimes you may say, I want to be a dentist, and then you rock up at the dentist thing and now suddenly you don't want to be a dentist because you've realized what it is. So yeah, but I do think that I mean, your career choice does impact other people. And I think especially if people are, see, this is where it's difficult when people are relying on you to get a degree and bring in money. That makes it a bit trickier.
That's what everyone is looking up to, because after degree, what's next? Some people invested in you, and that's what they say, because we have those people who are not privileged to get the school fees that they need. And so after that, the first thing, there is a society, there's a group of friends and family who come together to fundraise for you to go to that university. So just imagine you're done with your undergrad program and you go back home with that degree, with no job, and these people expect a return on investment.
Yeah. Well, that's where, yeah, it's like a difficult situation. But I think that what's difficult is when you need to find a why, basically. So like what your why is. So by that, I mean like what's pushing you to do stuff. So your why could be, I really want to be an actor, for example. So that's your why. You really want to be an actor. So that's going to push you to go find jobs and try and do things. And it's going to motivate you through those difficult times. But your purpose could also be your family. I know like lots of people have said, my family is very important to me. Bringing in money for my family is like something it's the most important to me. So they might take a job that they don't really like, but will bring money. And ultimately they know why they're doing that. But I do just want to say that if you have a passion and a dream, you can make that work if you're going to put effort into it and if you're going to believe in yourself. And maybe it's not going to happen instantaneously. I think that's where persistence is important. So you're not just going to go out there and now suddenly you're a millionaire. It's going to take some time. But if you're just going to give up after 2 seconds, then nothing's going to come in.
It's a great opportunity, and we have Colleen on the comment section still. Jennings, do go be a media personality. You can always be a media personality in science, chemistry, or any other subject of your choice. And this is an example that we have in our country. We have those journalists who are really the media personalities who are into other fields that they really did. An example is Dr. Mercy Korir in Nairobi, a doctor who is also a reporter by one of the media houses in the country, and she's doing good health reports. So Jennings, take the advice from this amazing mom here. And Jess,
also, I was just going to say, yes, the fact that Jennings did the science route means that your network is probably bigger now. So you know lots of different people. And I mean, like Qvist said, if people don't just have to be one thing anymore, they can do lots of different things. And actually, I personally think it's better when people know lots of different things and have lots of different specialities. So, example, acting, politics. Oh, I know stuff about science. I know stuff about maths. Because I think it's better to solve a problem when you have lots of different information rather than when you just know one thing. And I think the world is definitely moving in that direction. It's better to know lots of different things and to not just specialize in one thing, and to not be not to have a silo mentality or think, oh, I can only know maths and that's it. Like, no, try know maths, know some things about geography, try work out, oh, how can I fit geography and drama together? And that comes down to creative thinking.
We have other comments coming in. Vivian Korir tuned. Thank you very much. And those who are also tuned from the other platforms, we are here at the Alternative Voice. God isn't going to ask for a post-grad certificate for us to get into heaven. Hey! And that's true, but we need it here to get jobs. And this is a little bit uncomfortable question to put across to you, Jess. And Mom is live here, and I know she must have played a role in your career choice. How was it? You are a life coach. Your mom is a business and a life coach as well, if I'm not wrong. And she holds that position in the country. That's in South Africa, where she's the vice chair of that life coaching association where she is. Did she play a role in your career choice to become a life coach?
So she definitely didn't say, Jess, you have to be a life coach. I'm a life and business coach, so therefore you will be one as well. So that definitely didn't happen. What happened was I was sitting on the couch and I was probably crying because I didn't know what to do with my life. And then my mom was like, why don't you just do a life coaching course? And so I did that. And then by doing it, it was really interesting to me because coaching is such a valuable skill to have. And then I just worked out when I did coach, it felt really great because I was helping people. Do you know anything about life coaching, Qvist?
Life coaching on my end and from this other side, yes, we can say how do you handle the progress of life? It can be right from a tender age to your teenage to your adult life. How is adulting and everything that comes along with it? Is it right to say so?
Okay, so basically, for those of you, I mean, probably a lot of people don't know what a life coach is, but a life coach, because you may have heard things like therapists and coaches and consultants. A life coach is somebody who sits down with a person. So, example, if I sat with Qvist, I don't know which side you are, but if I sat down with you, you came in, hello, Jess, cool, I'm here for my life coaching session. What my job is to help you get to the next part of your life. So coaches are very forward thinkers. We don't sit and focus on the past and what happened 400 years ago and look at this traumatic event. We focus on, okay, cool, well, now that you're here, what do you want to do tomorrow? What type of person do you want to be tomorrow? What goal do you have? So you walk in and we'd start speaking about those things, and I would ask you questions and try to uncover what it is that's blocking you and what it is that you actually want out of your life. And it can be lots of different things. People can walk in with different things. So example, Qvist could walk in and say, I don't know what to study, Jess. I really don't know what to do. I feel so lost. It's perfectly fine to be lost. A lot of us are lost. But then my job is to ask you questions on, okay, so what is it that you like doing? What skills do you currently have? When was the situation when you walked in and it made you really happy? What sorts of jobs can make you money? What are your parents doing? What don't you like doing? So I'd ask you all these things and get you thinking. And then by the end of the session, you may think, oh, I want to do this. And this is something where the past is relevant, is if you say, example, like during our coaching session, finally you say, oh, I really want to be an actor, for example. But now you say, I don't know how to be an actor. My dad says that acting is nonsense and isn't going to earn me any money. And then the coach is going to question your own limiting beliefs and say, can actors actually earn money? And to just start questioning those things, because sometimes, as I was saying earlier, it's those fears that are holding you back from your potential. And if you can get through that fear and the stuff that's telling you, I can't do this, then you can go out and really be the best person you can be and really live up to your potential. So that's basically what a life coach does. I also help with things like taking action. So, example, some people they want to do things, but then they sit and watch TV all day and they aren't actually out there taking action. So I can help with procrastination. I can help with guidance, with boundaries. So with boundaries, boundaries are important because it stops people from just stamping all over us and saying, you go do this, you go do that, you go do this. I'm just going to come waltz into your house and and live in your house now. So if you have a boundary, you say, listen, this is my house. You can't just walk in whenever you like and help yourself to my food. so that's an example of having a boundary. And then a big thing I work with is self-worth and confidence. I think that's the underlying cause of a lot of problems, actually, is when people don't believe in themselves and they don't see their worth and they think, oh, society thought that I was this, so therefore I'm that. It's important to have confidence and self-belief because you are ultimately the one who has to take action, and the only one who has to believe in you is you. People can even, like, that's why I think internal validation is actually more important than external validation. Because, for example, I could say to Qvist, oh, Qvist, you're the most incredible person. You have so much potential, wonderful, terrific. But you're the one who has to get up and start taking action. So like, oh, cool, great. Thank you, Jess. You could just sit there and do nothing. But it's if you don't believe in yourself, it's like you have to believe in yourself in order to actually get up. You're the one who has to say, I'm incredible. I want to be an actor. I don't know if you want to be an actor, but I want to be an actor. And then you get up and you start doing things. And it doesn't matter if people are saying, oh, you can't do that. You're this, you're that. This is what history says. This is what other people have done. You're not other people. You are you. And you can define the world that others see.
And don't let fear bring down your potential. Don't let fear slow down the pace at which you are taking on to whatever thing you really want to pursue in life. And so we have, there's a question that came through from JL Empire. If I can get that question back. Today I don't have to call Dawn to come and put this question up. I'm here with a question from JL Empire. What if I'm not well informed enough about the career I want? Say I wanna be a hunter or blacksmith, or it's becoming outdated. Yeah, but it's becoming outdated. What's your advice, Jess?
Okay, well, my advice is, firstly, that's where network comes in. So if you aren't well informed enough, do research. You're the one who has to learn. You, like, I don't have to know this stuff. You want to do it, so you need to try find the information. So go onto Google and search these different things and see, like, what, because there's stuff on the internet. Look on the internet and see what information there is. And then look on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is brilliant. Everyone should be getting LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn and try find people who have these jobs and ask them, is this becoming outdated? What do you think about this? And then another thing, another tip that I have when you say it's becoming outdated is maybe then reinvent these things. So if you want to be a blacksmith example, try to see, oh, cool, how can we make a blacksmith something that's more modern or that fits in with the world today? Maybe you could be a blacksmith on the computer and do some graphic design thing.
Yes.
So I think everything in the world stems from other things. So it's just about taking something and evolving it to make it more future-driven. Take a look at what your other skills are. Actually, like, a good idea is to look at what your other interests are. Maybe you could be a hunter blacksmith together. Or take another thing if you enjoy, like, acting example. Maybe you could act as a blacksmith. So like, try combine things and see, oh, what is it that the world needs? How can I be creative about this? And don't just listen to what other people are saying about this can't be done, that's not thing. People don't want to believe stuff when they can't see it, but you can make it happen. And then once you've made it happen, then we'll be like, oh, okay, that actually does exist. That is possible. You made it possible.
Wow, great. And we have a number of people joining us live on various platforms. And before we bring this discussion to an end, let me just bring them up to speed. We have Frida, who is watching us. We have Betty Ngugi. We have Shanice, Vivian, Joshua Koth, Beda, Mimi Bree, Billy Clinton, Harry Araka, Titus, Patricia Combo, Zach Okoth. Yes, we have Nelson Kirui. Salimia huyo mlami, Chief. Yes. Yeah. Nelson is just saying hi.
Hello, hi.
Yes, and we have others who are on Facebook and Twitter as well. Thank you very much for being part of this great discussion. Paul, Kisia, Colleen, Meshak, Patricia, Barbara, Betty. Yes, we have Shak, Charles, Vivian Korir, and Jennings Ochieng. So to bring this discussion to an end tonight, 6 minutes past 9 p.m. East Africa time, and I know it's 8 p.m. 6 minutes past 8 p.m. in South Africa where you are. And Jess, I wouldn't wish to leave tonight without hearing about your 44 page. What do you do, and how do you reach out to various people in the society?
Okay, so my page or my coaching practice is called 44. You may be wondering why it's called 44, so the number 44. But the reason was basically at the time when I was trying to come up with a name for it, I was seeing 44s everywhere. So my microwave would, if I'd stop the microwave, it would be on 44 seconds. If I looked at my phone, it would be 44 seconds. My phone would be 8:44. My lecture room was in 44. Everything was just 44, and it was too weird to be just a coincidence. And then so at the time I was thinking maybe I should call it 44, but that's a weird name. And so I decided to meditate. So meditated, I don't know if you know what meditating is, but it's just like closing your eyes and getting into a relaxed state.
You have that time for your personal things.
Yeah, exactly. So you do a lot of self-reflection when you're meditating. And I was hoping these answers were just going to come in, but there were no answers. But as soon as I picked up my phone, it said it was 8:44. And then I was just like, okay, this is too weird. It just has to be 44 now. So that's the whole reason why it is called 44. And then so it started out as a Facebook page. Now it's a YouTube channel. I've also got a website where I post blogs. And then I have an Instagram page as well, which I started last year. So I just post a lot of things on confidence, on spirituality, on trusting your intuition, all sorts of things like that. And as I say, it's a coaching practice. So where you can find me is, so on Instagram, it's called @the44 page. And then on Facebook, it's called 44. So you can just go like me there, and you can just send me a message if you want to reach out. And then also my website is called www.44, so the number 44, www.44, then lifeismagical.com. Yeah, so that's where you would reach out to me. You could also reach out to me on LinkedIn. And yeah, just even if you just want to say hello, like I say, it's connections, which I feel is important, and the quality of connections.
That's great, Jess. And I think that's the right point to bring this discussion tonight to an end. Thank you very much for sparing your time tonight to be with us and also to share with us what we need to do as brothers and sisters in the society, what we need to do in order to embrace each other in the career paths that we have, how important it is to embrace networking within our workplaces, in schools, because I've seen yes, here's the website. Here's the website for those who are asking on how to get to Jess. Mama's just shared
links on there, which, so if you just go look at the bottom, you'll see there's links to my LinkedIn, links to, I also have a YouTube channel called 44, and then I'll post topics on like personal development every Saturday. There's one coming out, it just came out at 8 o'clock.
Oh, nice. So you can check the video out. It's on the YouTube 44.
Yeah, so 44 Life is Magical.
All right. So after this, kindly go check it out on YouTube, subscribe, and remember to follow her for more of these live coaching sessions, and as well on her social media platforms. And we have here a comment from Colleen. Yes, Cleophas, I love how your schoolmates are still with you. A great network. True. I was a man of the people. Let me take that bragging right now. Right from primary to high school and even at the college, everyone is here. And thanks so much for everyone who tuned. Those people who we were with in high school, in college, and those people we met after school, and everyone was invited. Caroline, thank you very much for tuning in from Nairobi. Don Apple from India, we are praying for you, bro, as you go through the current pandemic in India. Remember to wear your mask, stay in the house if you need to. And we are here sending our love and prayers to everyone who is in India and who also joined us in this live discussion tonight. As you go through this time, we are here with you. And we bring it to an end. Thank you very much. May God bless everyone who tuned in for this session tonight. Remember to subscribe, follow.
Yes, subscribe to the alternative voice.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jess. Until next time on Thursday, to check the weekly trends in Kenya and across the world, in Africa, join KK Cedric at this alternative platform page on Facebook, YouTube, and yes, and Twitter. That's where we go live. So till next time, keep safe. And remember, this is the place to be. You have a good night.
Bye-bye.